Close reading in the upper grades 6 through 12, has to look fundamentally different from K through 5 classrooms. It involves the release of students to navigate complex texts as independently as possible. The teacher's role in this is to model effectively, to prepare students for the critical thinking necessary to teach them to think through each read. At our school, close reading is implemented across discipline areas. Our keys to close reading include a chunked quality short passage, which is slightly higher than what students can normally access on their own. Students are expected to read with a deliberate reading goal. They have a highlighter or pencil to annotate, and it's coupled with discussion questions which are guided, and text-dependent questions which allow them to have discussion and to synthesize their ideas in writing. So many educators actually shy away from close reading because they know that complex texts are very difficult, especially when they have striving or struggling readers. However, teaching students how to annotate or to navigate complex texts is actually really, really key to improving comprehension and critical thinking and engaging students in building their vocabulary in the long run. I actually like to think of close reading as a healthy struggle, right? So the more that you engage students in complex texts and you're teaching them to not only think critically, but think about how they're thinking and thinking about how authors are putting things together, the stronger readers and writers that they actually become. So the first step of teaching students how to read closely is to model. You want to model effective thinking, model effective writing, model effective note-taking, right? You want to teach students how to think critically with a complex text, how to write in the margins, how to make connections between parts of the text too. Once you have completed the modeling, now you're able to take students through the 3 phases. The first read is always for comprehension. Do you understand what the text says? Do you understand what you don't know? And are you making connections and using your inferences to break that down to get an understanding of what's happening in the text? The second read is always for structure, right? Why did the author put this together? If it's literature, how is the author creating meaning for the reader? Are they using figurative language, imagery, plot development, characterization? If it's informational text, how are they making connections between individuals, ideas, and events? And how are they using subheadings and titles to make sense of it? And why did the author structure or craft their argument or ideas the way that they did? Step 2 is not only important because it builds them as thinkers, it also builds them as writers. If they can understand the strategies that good writers use, then maybe that they can implement those in their own writing. And step 3 is the best part because you get to see them synthesize. I like to take you to writing first, allowing them to write their ideas and get them out and start creating their responses to text-dependent questions that require them to go back and to cite textual evidence, but also implementing discussion in there and allow them to bounce ideas off of one another, allow them to do think pair shares, to work in the groups, to do presentations, and then go back to the writing and add on those ideas from a group in a Socratic way.
I'm going to high school next year, and close reading helps me understand why the author created a passage. And it also helps me understand why the author put the passage together.
And so the ultimate goal here is that students will be able to think critically about a text the way that it was modeled for them without reading the text 3 times. I know a lot of people think of close reading as hand-holding or it just takes a long time. But remember, you're actually zooming into critical parts of the text that you know that they'll see again in another text and teaching them to think strategically about why that part of the text is actually key to understanding it as a whole. And so close reading actually takes them through the strand of depths of knowledge from the most basic comprehension to synthesizing it in writing. And it actually allows them to make connections and think very, very deep.